Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're cracking open the Manager's Strategic Toolkit. We're talking about the essential frameworks that every great leader uses to make much smarter decisions. So, have you ever stopped to think about it? How does a giant company, or even the little coffee shop on your corner, figure out its next big move? Whether they should launch a new product, expand into a new city, or even just tweak their menu. Well, here's the secret. It's not guesswork. And they definitely don't have a crystal ball. The best leaders, they rely on this practical, really powerful toolkit, a set of frameworks that helps them decode what's happening right now so they can build a better future. All right, so in this explainer, we're going to pop open that very toolkit. We're going to pull out and look at the three most fundamental tools that you'll find inside: SWOT, PEST, and Porter's 5 forces. First up to bat is SWOT analysis. Now, think of this as the foundation, the base camp for your whole strategy. It's all about getting a full 360-degree scan of your business and the world immediately around it, right here, right now. Okay, so the absolute key to SWOT, the thing you really need to get, is this split right down the middle. Your strengths and weaknesses, those are internal. They're about your company, stuff you can actually control. But opportunities and threats, those are external. They're just out there in the world, and you have to react to them. Getting this difference is what makes SWOT so powerful. Let's make this real for a second. A strength, that could be your amazing brand name that everybody knows and loves. A weakness, well, maybe it's that your factory equipment is getting a little old and slow. An opportunity could be a new country suddenly opening up for business. And a threat, a super trendy new competitor just opened its doors down the street. See, simple, but wow, is it effective. So if SWOT is like looking around you with a pair of binoculars, our next tool, PEST analysis, is like pulling out a massive telescope. It helps us scan that distant horizon for the huge, sweeping changes that might be heading our way.
The P in PEST stands for political. This is all about the rules of the game that are set by governments. We're talking about new laws, trade policies, or even just how stable the government is. These things can completely change the business landscape, sometimes like overnight.
Next up, E is for economic. Pretty intuitive, right? How's the economy doing? Are people feeling wealthy and spending a ton of money? Or are they tightening their belts? Things like inflation and interest rates have a direct impact on your customers' wallets and your own costs.
Then we have S for social. And this is all about, well, people, society. Are there big shifts in lifestyles? Like everyone's suddenly getting into fitness? Is the population getting older or younger? These social trends can create enormous new markets and make old ones vanish. And finally, the T is for technological. Oh man, this is the big one, the great disruptor. We're talking about new tech like AI, automation. These things can literally create new industries from scratch or make existing ones totally obsolete. You have got to keep an eye on this one. So, we've looked inward with SWOT and way outward with PEST. Now it's time to zoom in. Our third tool from the legendary Michael Porter helps us analyze the specific game we're playing, our industry. It tells us just how fierce the competition really is. Porter's model looks at an industry's profitability through the lens of 5 key forces. Think of them like pressure points. First, you've got the threat of new entrants. How easy is it for someone new to show up? Then there's the power of your buyers. Can they haggle your prices down? On the flip side, what about your suppliers? Can they jack up your costs? Then you have the threat of substitutes. Could a customer solve their problem with a completely different product? And all of this swirls around the middle, the rivalry among the companies already there. It's a brilliant way to see how profitable your industry can be. Okay, now this is where it all comes together. Because here's the thing. These tools aren't just for making neat little lists. No, they are the building blocks for actually forecasting the future. This is where you go from just analyzing the world to actively planning your place in it. And it's a process, really a continuous loop. You start by pinpointing the most critical factors you found in your SWOT, PEST, and Porter's analyses. Then you hunt down the data, you pick a technique to build your forecast, and this is the most important part. You constantly monitor and update it. It's not a snapshot, it's more like a living, breathing GPS. So let's bring it all home with this awesome little summary. Think of it as your cheat sheet. Use SWOT for that general, all-around strategic picture. Pull out PEST when you really need to get the big picture vibe of a country or market, and dive into Porter's when you need to get into the nitty-gritty of your competition. But the real secret?
The magic happens when you use them together. And that really brings us to this powerful idea from the management guru Peter Drucker. See, these tools aren't about passively waiting to see what the future holds. They give you the insight you need to make bold moves, to innovate, and to actually shape the future for yourself. So, we'll leave you with this question. You've got the keys to the toolkit now. If you were thinking about your own job, a new business idea you've been kicking around, or even the company you work for now, which of these tools would you reach for first? Thanks so much for tuning in.